Hello and welcome to Live on SanAngeloLive.com. I'm Matt Trammell. We start today with some breaking news. A police chase turned into a crash that shut down a portion of North Bryan on Wednesday afternoon. Our reporter James Bellini has more from the scene. James?
Today, about 2:30, between 14th and 15th Street on Bryant, a tan in color car looks like it rear-ended a red Jeep. The occupant fled the scene down an alleyway westbound, and she is now in custody.
Thanks, James. Tragic news came out of South Texas yesterday. A mass shooting occurred on Tuesday afternoon at an elementary school in Uvalde. A total of 21 people were killed inside of a classroom inside of Robb Elementary. 19 of the 21 were killed were students. Governor Abbott said in a press conference today that an 18-year-old Salvador Ramos was shot and killed by police inside the school. He is the shooter. During the event, Beto interrupted Abbott in a political tirade. Robert Francis was then scalded and kicked out of the auditorium. Let's check it out.
Excuse me.
Sit down.
You're out of line and an embarrassment.
Sit down and don't play this stuff.
The next shooting is right now, and you're doing nothing.
No, he needs to get his ass out of here. This isn't the place to talk this over.
This is totally predictable when you...
Sir, you're out of line. Sir, you are out of line. Sir, you are out of line. Please leave this auditorium.
Beto and his team would be escorted out of the auditorium, but not
come
after
to a deal like
few
this to
words
make a
shouted in
political
the
issue.
direction of the cameras from Mr. O'Rourke. In local news, a possible tornado touched down in southwestern Tom Green County on Tuesday night. A video shared with San Angelo Live on social media showed the tornado near the Dove Creek area. Let's check it out. Earlier in the day, the area received a severe thunderstorm that also brought golf ball to baseball size hail. San Angelo Live reporters have been in contact with the National Weather Service to confirm the tornado. Last night in Tom Green County was election night. The Tom Green County Republican Party held 3 local runoff elections. For county judge, Lane Carter won with 53% of the vote. In commissioner race, Sean Nanny took 60%, and in the JP race, Stacey Speck won by 20% of the vote. So far, none of them have an opponent in the November general election. One man, however, is looking to throw his hat in the ring. Gary Jenkins is attempting to become an independent candidate for Tom Green County Judge. But first, he must gather a petition of 500 signatures from registered voters who have not voted in either of the primary or runoff elections. Jenkins joined our election night show on Tuesday and told us exactly how he's planning on doing it.
I am not afraid to take on the challenge of running as an independent candidate for Tom Green County Judge. I will bring a wealth of federal, state, and local government experience into Tom Green County. And I live here. This is my home now. So I want to give back to this wonderful community that we have here in Tom Green County.
Another candidate who was able to win her runoff election was Dawn Buckingham. The former Texas senator is now projected to be the Texas Land Commissioner. Prior to the election night, Buckingham sat down with Yantis Green to talk about the race.
So it's a very competitive race. Our biggest hurdle is just getting people to understand how important the general land office is, who's in this race, and why they should care. And just to run through that really quickly, the general land office funds education. We fund our state veterans programs with students.
Since 1994.
So it's a very competitive race. Our biggest hurdle is just getting people to understand how important the general land office is, who's in this race, and why they should care. And just to run through that really quickly, the general land office funds education. We fund our state veterans programs. We steward millions of acres of state lands. We're literally the tip of the spear to defend oil and gas, our history, and the border against what the liberal left is trying to do. For the guardians of Texas history, you care about little things like the Alamo and the cenotaph. I was the one that threw down the legal challenge that kept the cenotaph out in front instead of being moved around back. And there will be no redefining Texas history under my watch. And our Texas is worth fighting for, and it's a critical time in the state's history. And I look forward to being a part of a successful path moving forward.
For more on this, check out the exclusive interview only on SanAngeloLive.com. After the break, we sit down with the Republican nominee for Tom Green County Judge, Lane Carter. We'll be right back.
Since 1994, Angelo Bolt has been the leader in San Angelo and the Concho Valley for industrial fasteners, tools, and supplies. With our extensive inventory, we will most likely have what you need for any commercial or personal job. Our knowledgeable staff has many years of experience to assist you in finding the tool or fasteners you need. At Angelo Bolt, customer service is our top priority. Come see us today at 808 Warehouse Road or call 655-0075.
For 6 years as an ER and OR nurse right here in San Angelo, I experienced firsthand the effects of mental illness. According to studies, 3.3 million Texans are living with mental illness. In Tom Green County, 25% of our jail population suffers from some level of mental illness that costs us tax dollars. Using my experience and training as a healthcare professional, I have a plan to help families, which means reducing pressure on law enforcement. I'm Lane Carter, and I'm ready to serve you as your next Tom Green County judge. The safety of your family and your home is what matters the most. We can improve your public safety in the county by better supporting the volunteer fire departments. These brave men and women need better equipment and better facilities, and by doing so, we can lower the cost of living outside the city limits. Tom Green County needs a judge with the ideas and experience to execute this plan. I'm Lane Carter, and I'm ready to serve you as your next Tom Green County judge. For the last 5.5 years as a San Angelo City Councilman, I helped solve difficult challenges facing this community. As your next Tom Green County judge, we'll face similar challenges, and I'm ready to get started on day one. We will improve retention like we did with the San Angelo Police, Fire Department, as well as public sector employees while lowering your tax rates. I have a plan for our county. Tom Green County needs a judge that's ready to work for you. I'm Lane Carter, and I'm ready to serve you as your next Tom Green County judge.
And we are back this afternoon. Seems like we were here just a little while ago, Lane.
Too long ago.
I'm Yanis Green. We're visiting with Lane Carter, who is the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party for Tom Green County Judge.
Happy to be here.
And
Thanks again.
You've been that for about 10 hours, 12 hours?
So far.
Something like that?
Seems like it. Not long.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's been a long campaign.
It has.
And what were your initial feelings when you found out, when you really got the word?
It was just a sigh of relief. You've waited so long to get to that point.
Yeah.
And when you get the call to say, every box is in, congratulations, and someone else is telling you congratulations of an official status.
Yeah.
Then all of the wondering of vote counts here and there, is it any more out there? Is there going to be any changes? Is this it?
We were having the same conversation. Are there any more votes left?
Right. And when someone, Bruce Birkin, he called and said, congratulations. That's when I knew
that's when you knew
we're here. We made it.
All right. Have you talked to the other guys, the other contestants in the race?
I have.
Okay.
Mr. Coles called me last night.
Okay.
Right after I got off the phone with Bruce, and gave his congratulations and his prayers towards me. So I was very grateful. I thank him for that.
Very good. And I know you talked to Joe Hyde because he was here last night.
Yes, we did.
Like I say, it's been a long task. Let's talk about the election a little bit, because I'm sort of a junkie on this kind of thing. It looks like, looking at the numbers, about 7,000 people in total voted in Tom Green County. In your race, it was like 6190, I think, was the total. And our rule of thumb has been in the past that about half the people will cast ballots in early voting and the other half will be on election day. This was a little heavy on election day.
Right.
There is a little over, closer to 55-60% on election day. What do you glean anything from that?
We had some really tremendous efforts between the campaign to help get everybody out there to vote last minute.
Okay.
Reminding last minute.
Right.
Hey, have you gone? No, I haven't. Okay, well, this is where you can go based off of their current location. I would tell them your closest spot right now is down the street from you, or right around the corner, or take this street. And I would help them out with directions.
Okay.
please get out and vote. We're coming up to crunch time and making those phone calls. So, yeah.
Did you hold your breath when it started raining?
I did. I did. I didn't know what the outcome was going to be at that point when it started raining.
That crossed my mind that we were looking at, at least 50% turnout for Election Day, and then right in the middle of the afternoon, we had this huge thunderstorm come through, and I thought, well, people aren't going to vote in the rain.
Right.
And I thought, how's that going to affect the outcome? But the numbers are about where we thought they'd be. I think everybody made it to the polls that wanted to.
I think so, too. I think they went earlier in the day, before work, at lunch, got it done. That's what I was trying to stress to everybody. Go get it done before anything else happens, because you never know what's going to happen on Election Day.
Yep.
That's why I've called a lot of people during early voting, hey, go and vote early. You never know what's going to happen on Tuesday. You might get sick. Car might not be working.
That's
Go
very
vote when
true.
you can. Yeah.
And of course, this runoff election had an abbreviated early voting period. It was only 1 week.
Right.
So there's a lot of pressure to get, I would imagine, to get folks to vote.
Yes. Yeah. I actually got phone calls from some people saying, hey, we work out of town Monday. We leave early Monday and we don't get back till Friday. They might commute up to Midland, Odessa for oil field, or out in West Texas for the week, and they were concerned. So I tried to say, all right, go as early as possible, or on your way out of town.
Yeah,
like
get that done.
Right.
Well, enough of them made it to the polls.
They did.
And now you're the nominee.
Yes, sir.
Now what?
Go to November. Focus on November.
We did talk to Gary Jenkins last night, and he is hitting the ground running now when he can to get the signatures for his petition.
Yes.
So you're going to be the only local race, provided he gets those enough signatures. So I guess now you campaign like you've got competition in November.
Right. You can't. Don't hesitate.
Don't let
second.
up at all.
Don't let off.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep headstrong.
Did you get any sleep last night? How about the wife and kids? Did the family sleep?
The family slept. We watched a few of the interviews on TV that was recorded. Okay. Once we got home, I went to bed probably about midnight 30.
Yeah.
And then phone calls started about 6 a.m. So
well,
slept a little bit and had some coffee.
You'll appreciate that unlimited plan now. I think the phone's going to ring a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the next election is November 8th, and we were talking about signs last night. You'll pick all the signs up and then go back out in August.
Right.
So you've got time to network and talk to county employees and department heads, elected officials, and
That's
that
what
sort
I'm
of thing
looking
this
forward to.
summer.
Yes, looking forward to that, and budget
And
sessions are coming
and
up
go
too.
through the budget
Right.
cycle. That's an eye opener there.
Yes.
So that's the election.
Yeah.
And there are other things going on today that I kind of wanted to talk to you about. First, we did have some severe weather yesterday, right in the middle of the election.
Right in the middle of it.
And there were some possible tornadoes. Places got big hail. Have you heard anything about property damage or anything like that?
Not at a tremendous extent. Of course, roofs are going to be damaged, tree limbs are going to be damaged, but I haven't heard of any power outages, any destruction of buildings, anything like that from touchdown of wind or the possible tornado.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of people out in the areas that were affected by the hail, and the pictures that I've seen and talking with them.
Yeah, there was pretty good size hail.
There
I think
was.
Dove Creek and out towards Sterling and Carlsbad, Water Valley, Grape Creek that way. We were glad to have the rain. I did see that Judge Floyd lifted the burn ban today.
I saw that just a little bit ago.
And that's at the discretion of the court to either keep that going or not. It may be a very brief time because there's no rain in the forecast.
Right. We look like we're going to get some more 102, 105 degree days, and that'll dry it up pretty quick. So
yeah, well, we'll keep praying for rain.
Absolutely.
Also, we were dealing with, and everybody's dealing with now, that horrific tragedy of the mass shooting in Uvalde.
It is. That's sad.
What is your take on that right now?
Hard to tell. Prayers go out to the families. It's a disaster that you don't want to hear about.
Yeah.
And it was sad today and this morning seeing posts on Facebook of friends and family throughout the state saying, just dropped my kid off to school and haven't been more scared.
Yeah.
That's sad. I don't like to see that.
Yeah. It is. It's tragic, and you know there are loud voices on both sides, right. And I think universally people hurt.
Yes, they do.
And it's something that we, you know, as a people hate to see, but we have a constitutional republic, and the Second Amendment is a core part of our freedom.
Yes.
So we've got to use common sense, I think.
I agree. Right to bear arms is
to address some of those issues, and I think that this guy had been in trouble before. We found out today that
officials had their eye on him already,
and that he posted some stuff on Facebook, and that the governor was saying. So he was not an unknown commodity.
Right.
He was a known player in Uvalde. And one of the reasons I bring that up is because, and we've talked about this before, as a county judge, you're the chief emergency management officer in Tom Green County.
Correct. These
things are going to happen.
Yes.
Storms like yesterday, they're going to happen. Unfortunately, there's probably going to be shootings.
Yes. Knock on the wood that we never see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it anywhere.
Right.
Especially here, though. It's a disastrous effect that it has on the families, and I can't say it anymore that the prayers go out to those families.
Well, and sitting on the city council, you've been through some episodes like this.
Yes.
Particularly the weather. So how do you prepare to be the county judge? You know, the one that everybody turns to when something like that happens.
Training, being in contact with Jerry Huffman and the EOC or whoever's in that spot at the time. I've seen 3 directors at this point. Now we have Jerry Huffman now. Started off with Steve Mild. When you're elected, you go through the trainings that the officials need for emergency management out there at the EOC at the airport. Knowing how to respond, where to respond, who you need, finances, equipment, depending on what type of disaster, whether it be weather-related or man-made related.
Yeah.
Quick response is always good because that's going to be faster recovery rate for them.
Okay.
So training's big on that. Being in constant contact with each entity, whether it be sheriff's department, fire departments, saying, what do we need? We haven't gone over this in a while. Maybe let's look at some options on what we need to revamp our skills up on if something happens. We're coming up on storm season.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Okay. Any thoughts about the race and where you're going from here, and what do you do now?
Keep 110% going. Full throttle.
That'll work.
Up and away we go. Keep headstrong. Don't let it down that November's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Whether it is or not, we're keep on going. We've got a race to win stage 3 now.
That's right. It's stage 3, and the November 8th. That's why they hold elections.
Yes,
because people get to vote.
Right.
And we certainly hope that there is a better turnout in November than there was this time. Probably will be.
I think there will be.
But there's going to be a lot more at stake there.
Right.
The statewide offices will draw some people's interest.
Yeah.
So
I think we'll probably even see more than what we had in our primary.
Yeah, probably so. I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
Don't be a stranger. You're welcome here anytime, Lane.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Okay. Lane Carter, nominee for the Republican Party for Tom Green County Judge. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
We'll be back after this.
Since 1994, Angelo Bolt has been the leader in San Angelo and the Concho Valley for industrial fasteners, tools, and supplies. With our extensive inventory, we will most likely have what you need for any commercial or personal job. Our knowledgeable staff has many years of experience to assist you in finding the tool or fasteners you need. At Angelo Bolt, customer service is our top priority. Come see us today at 808 Warehouse Road or call 655-0075.
For 6 years as an ER and OR nurse right here in San Angelo, I experienced firsthand the effects of mental illness. According to studies, 3.3 million Texans are living with mental illness. In Tom Green County, 25% of our jail population suffers from some level of mental illness that costs us tax dollars. Using my experience and training as a healthcare professional, I have a plan to help families, which means reducing pressure on law enforcement. I'm Lane Carter, and I'm ready to serve you as your next Tom Green County judge.
Thank you for joining the show today. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and of course, you can always see us on SanAngeloLive.com. We end the show today by showing our respects for the lives that were lost during the mass shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. For San Angelo Live and all the crew here, we'll see you tomorrow.